It's a vehicle that I did not plan to build. It's a vehicle that I think absolutely no one needs to have. But honestly, if I take it to a local Cars and Coffee event, it'll have a crowd around it all day long, probably bigger than any other vehicle I own. And that vehicle is my lifted smart car that we call the Smart Runner. So the smart car started literally not on the books. So what happens every year is when we figure out we're doing the show the season before, long before SEMA, we will sit down and plan out, hey, here's the projects that we're going to build next year. That way I have time to get the parts together. The sales team has time to basically integrate any sales items that we need to integrate. And the Smart Runner, it was not on the list at all, not at all. But I was walking through SEMA and I saw this lifted smart car from the Fab Lab and I fell in love with it. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, that is something that I need to get. And then I looked at the price of a smart car and I get a smart car for like $2,500, maybe $3,000 here in Nashville. And that sealed the deal. There was no question asked. I'm building a Smart Runner. And that's what we did on the show. And I absolutely think it's the coolest car that I own. The only funny story that there is about the smart car is, well, I guess there's two. So the first one would be, if you drive that car, you can't go anywhere without people taking pictures of you. You'll be driving through an intersection and you'll see people's phones out. You'll be driving downtown, people have their phones out. You're in a parking lot, phones out. Gas station, phones out. If I park the smart car at my house, cars will drive by the road, they'll see it at the house. They will literally stop, turn around, drive back, take a picture of the car. If you're an introvert, don't build a lifted smart car because you're going to be surrounded by people constantly. Everybody absolutely loves that car. The other funny story is that when we were trying to figure out how we were going to finish the episode for the show, we kind of went back and forth with a lot of different ideas, and we came up with this idea to basically create shot for shot a scene from the movie Caddyshack. So we went to the local golf course here in Mount Pleasant. We had one of the crew dress up as a gopher to steal the ball. I had the full Rodney Dangerfield outfit where I chased him down. And very few people got that reference when they saw pictures and everything. They were like, why are you dressed in red pants with a rainbow sweater? But anyone who did get it, they absolutely loved it because Caddyshack is a hilarious movie. And to just take this thing out, and believe it or not, that thing actually fit on the cart path at the golf course. It killed me. I was worried we'd be too wide, but it literally fit on the cart path of the golf course. A few weeks after we shot it, I was downtown at the bank here in town, and somebody was in their banking, and they were talking about how they were at the golf course the day that we'd shot it, but they didn't know who we were and didn't know who I was, and they were just trying to figure out what was going on with this lifted smart car at the golf course with a guy in a gopher costume. We were the talk of the town, talk of small town Tennessee, which made it even better. But yeah, that's probably the funniest thing is just the attention that you get in this car. The specs on this car are very, very simple. So it's a Fab Lab suspension kit, and it's really, really easy to do. Basically, the suspension on the front of smart cars is literally just like a golf cart. It's like a piece of C-channel with A-arms bolted to it. So there's some drop brackets to drop that down, some new A-arms to get your track width a little bit wider, and then it's Radflow coilovers up front, Radflow smooth body shocks in the back, a new spring in the back, and then also a couple of spacers to drop the whole rear subframe down because the car is rear engine. It's a 3-cylinder rear engine with a 5-speed manual gearbox. But there's no shifter, it's all electronically shifted. So it's got paddle shifters, or you just basically move the shifter back and forth, but it still has a clutch in it. It's very, very interesting. It is silly to drive. You cannot go higher than 4th gear. You cannot go higher than 3rd gear if the air conditioning is on. It doesn't have enough power. I thought you wouldn't even be able to drive down the highway, but you can do 60, 65 miles an hour in the car. It's a little sketchy at that speed, but you can actually do 65 miles an hour in the car all day long. And aside from that, it's got KC Pro 6 LEDs up front. It's got their little triangle LEDs in the front bumper. It's got a UTV winch up in behind the custom front bumper that I built. It's sitting on, I think, 31s, Method race wheels, Mickey Thompson tires. That's about it. There's not a lot done. It literally was easy. It was super, super easy to build, and it gets more attention than anything else I've ever built. But that's okay. It's stupid and fun, and I love it. Cost to build this car, I think, honestly, I mean, there might be 15 grand, maybe 20 in the car at the most if I was maybe estimating high on a few things. I mean, the car was $2,500. The Radflow shocks, I mean, there's maybe $1,000 worth of shocks in it. I don't know what Ryan charges for the Fab Lab lift, but it can't be that much money. I honestly think there's more money in the light bar on this car than anything else that's in the car. I think that's the most expensive part of the entire build is the light bar. So I would say 15 grand to get it done. I guess if I wanted to, apparently there's turbo kits for it. So I guess I could put a turbo kit on it, but I wouldn't want to go any faster in the car, to be honest with you. It's fast enough as it is. I wouldn't change anything about this car. I wouldn't build it any different whatsoever. I mean, I guess I could have taken the body and put it on a UTV chassis. I've seen a couple people do that, but that wasn't the point of this. This was just to build a lifted smart car. Do I think that everyone should own a lifted smart car? No. Do I think that all smart cars should be lifted? The answer to that is absolutely yes.